Hey there, Central Ohio. I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Michael Behrens. Thanks for joining us here on 10 TV Plus. We're keeping you up to date on everything involved with this incredibly heavy round of rain that we've really seen push through Central Ohio since we had severe storms on Wednesday. Unfortunately, not done with the rain yet, and we're starting to see more and more reports of flooding coming in from across the region. And unfortunately, that's only going to increase as additional rounds of rain push through tonight. Of course, though, over the next half hour, we want to get you up to date on everything and answer as many questions as you guys have, as many as we can get to in the next 30 minutes. You can send those questions into our Facebook page, or you can also text them to us at 614-460-3345. We'll be taking a look at those questions here in just a little bit after we get through all of the round of weather information. There's a lot of information, especially on the alerts to pass your direction. Again, you can text those questions to us 614-460-3345 or leave them in the Facebook comments as well. So I want to go ahead and dive straight in. We're looking at another weather impact alert as we head through tonight and into tomorrow. The reasoning hasn't really changed here. Rain and storms pushing into Central Ohio as we head through this evening and into tonight. Flooding is our biggest concern, but we do have at least a small risk for severe weather tonight, much like what we did last night. A really gusty line of storms coming through late in the evening, bringing with it some hail and wind. Those are the two biggest concerns we have. You can't rule out an isolated tornado, but unlike earlier this week, that's not really going to be the focus. It's more the heavy rain that will take the show as we head through tonight. Make sure you're staying connected. 10 TV app will be able to get all of those weather alerts to you as soon as they're issued. And of course, if you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube, download the 10 TV Plus app to your TV. You can watch these streams for free, as well as any other news content that we do here at 10 TV. 10 TV Weather Impact Alert again for that flooding as we head through today. Most of Central Ohio under a level 2 out of 5 risk factor when it comes to flooding as we head through the rest of today and into tonight. Higher risk factors down to the south along the Ohio River there, down into Scioto County, level 3 out of 4 risk for flooding. That's quite a high risk factor and part of the reason we're so concerned. Again, on top of the risk for heavy rain, we can't rule out some severe weather later today. Most of us, though, pretty low risk factor, only a 1 out of 5. It increases slightly to the south, but again, flooding the overwhelming thing that we'll be watching as we head through the next 24 hours and into your Sunday. It outranks every other category in terms of risk factor for tonight. The biggest concern with any storms outside of the rain likely to be those gusty winds and possibly some large hail as we head through later today. What we're seeing right now is just light, steady rainfall. Occasionally picks up to a little bit heavier in some spots, but it's only going to just keep things saturated, keep the water levels slowly ticking up. And in fact, the flood alerts that we've seen come with this are no surprise with how much rain has come down in the last 3 days. This is 72-hour rainfall out there. Anywhere that you start to get into these darker reds, that's over 2.5 inches of radar estimated rainfall. You start to get into these oranges, like you can see stretching back out up toward the north there. That's where we could get into Logan County, possibly some of those 4+ inch totals. The same as you head down toward Urbana, gets to some of those 4+. You get down toward the southwest to Chillicothe there, also getting to some of those 4+ areas. So again, there's been just so much rainfall, and another possibly 1, 2, even 3 inches to come is the reason that those flood alerts have been in place. And you can see just how heavy that rain is, stretching back to southern Indiana, southern Illinois. All of that still has yet to push our way. The big radar picture really hasn't changed in several days. Every time we look at it, there's just more moisture pushing its way up from the south and heading our direction. So with that in mind, lots of flood alerts in place. We're going to try to get through some of the bigger ones here in the next couple of minutes. Flood warning in place for Athens, Morgan, Washington counties. This goes until 8 p.m. tomorrow. So watch out for areas of collected water, ponding, flooded roadways roadways, things like that are all going to be a concern down there in Athens County. As you move over just a little bit to Benton and Jackson County, also under a flood warning till 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. Same threats. A little bit further up to the north, we're seeing those flood warnings in place for Marion and Morrow County. This goes till midnight tonight, but I wouldn't be surprised if this could get extended because we have, again, more heavy rainfall on the way this evening, sliding over into portions of Holmes, Knox, Richland, and Ashland County. This one goes until 5:15 tonight. This one might get canceled just because we're a little bit further away from the next heavy burst of rain, but certainly could see additional alerts issued tonight if we see those heavy showers hit some of the same areas. The lower tier flood alerts, we have plenty of those as well. Flood advisories up there, Ashland, Knox, Richland counties till 5:30 tonight, sliding down to Delaware, Franklin County, on over to Shelby, Union counties, also under a flood advisory till 5 o'clock tonight. Over in Licking County, seeing that same flood advisory, 5:30 tonight. Also covers just a part of Delaware County and up into Logan County. Sliding over one more alert to pass along. This is for Greene, Montgomery counties, over to Madison County, seeing those flood advisories in place till 5:30 tonight as well. Numerous river flood warnings across the region. Each one of these little green lines is a river or body of water that is seeing flooding conditions develop, and that is going to likely stay with us not just for today, not just for tomorrow, but even into Monday, Tuesday, before we start to see water levels go down. The rivers all pretty much expected to continue rising across central Ohio, and with all of the rain on the way, no surprise that that flooding risk remains in place through tomorrow. Flood watch remains in effect over all of the 10 TV viewing area until about 8 o'clock tomorrow. I want to go ahead and remind you of what the different flood alerts mean, because that was a lot of different information to throw your direction. The flood advisories, those are minor flooding conditions, so we're not expecting major threats to life or property, but areas that typically collect or pond water, areas of underpasses, poor drainage, low-lying areas, those are the types of areas that are affected most during a flood advisory. During a flood warning, like what we had for a couple counties, especially down toward Athens, Jackson, and Benton County, that's where we could see that flooding become a bigger concern. Areas that don't typically collect water, roads that don't typically collect water, those could flood. Certain houses, if you're in low-lying areas, buildings, properties could see flooding increase across the region. It's a slow rise. That's what we've seen over the past several days, and those flooding concerns, again, will persist through tonight. If we do see a flash flood warning issued, we had one of those yesterday in Athens County. That is for a rapidly changing flood condition. The waters are rising quickly, and you need to take immediate action to protect life and property in those cases. And then, of course, the river flood warnings, we do have those in place as well. No shock what is causing that. The rivers rising from all of the rainwater that's ponding into them, and that pattern not just going to continue while the rain is falling, but it'll continue for a couple of days afterwards. As all of the rain kind of drains down into those bodies of water, they will keep rising. Again, likely won't be till Monday or Tuesday that we see those conditions change. Your impact forecast through Sunday remains the same. Flooding likely, so make sure you're prepared and never drive through those flooded roadways. The saying we always tell you is turn around, don't drown, because you can never tell how deep those waters are, especially if you're driving at night, and you're also never quite sure how the road conditions are underneath those flood waters. That road could get swept away. I'm going to take a moment here to break down some of those flood conditions around the region. What we're looking at is actually a map of all the different river gauges here in central Ohio. The dots in the center are the conditions for the river now, and the box around it is where the forecast is expected to go. So let's go down into Pickaway County. We'll click on the Scioto River there. Right now, we're at 17 feet, just a little bit over 17 feet. That's considered minor flood stage. You can see it there on the graph on the right side of your screen. By the time we head into Sunday and Monday, that's expected to rise to 20 feet. So that's going to be moderate flooding there in Circleville along the Scioto River. So expected to be pretty substantial river rise here over the next 24 to 48 hours. As we travel down further to the south, sticky on the Scioto River, heading down to Piketon. Right now, we've already entered moderate flood stage for you guys in Piketon. This is 24.23 feet, only going to continue up from here. We've got about another 4 feet of river rise forecasted as of right now. So that'll be a concern heading into the start of next week. And really, it looks to stay in moderate flood stage all the way through Thursday. So that's going to be a threat that we have to watch well into next week. We'll climb up a little bit closer here going into Franklin County, staying on the Scioto. We are at what you call the action stage, which means we're taking, you need to take those preparations in case we see continued river water rise. The good news here, expected to top out, at least in the forecast right now, at 23 feet. So that wouldn't get us quite to flood stage, but it is very close. So that could change. And then that river here in Columbus expected to drop pretty quickly as we head into next week. Travel further to the north, Scioto River Prospect. Moderate flood stage, almost there at the moment. This is going to come within about a foot of major flooding, so that'll be about 14 feet, at least right now, where the crest is expected to be in Prospect. So again, some major flooding expected there. We'll slide over to our east, head over toward Coshocton, Muskingum River. Expected to hit up into minor flooding, close to moderate flood stage. But again, it's really just going to depend on how much rainfall we get. We'll check in with one more river here. We'll go up to North Industry. That one looks to be the Nimishillen Creek. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. That one will hit close to major flood stage as well, and that's expected in the next couple of hours. We're in moderate flooding with 12 feet water levels, expected to get just a hair shy of major flood stage. But again, you can see all of those river sites here in central Ohio. We'll go back to just the map. All of them, for the most part, expected to see at least action stage in the forecast, and numerous of them expected to go into moderate flood conditions over the next 48 hours. So again, use extra caution, especially if you live near the rivers, or if you know someone that lives near the rivers, or you have to drive by those bodies of water. Those conditions could change very rapidly as we head into the next couple of days. I want to take a look at our forecast here. Rainfall already out there, but we'll pick up the intensity as we head through this evening and into tonight. Temperatures start to fall as a round of heavy rain pushes through. We're going to be on a ever-dropping temperature pattern between now and next week. And believe it or not, we could even see a little bit of wintry weather before all of the system gets out of here. It's really going to be a big change on top of all the rain that has already fallen. The next several hours, light rain expected to continue across central Ohio. But as we get toward 7 to 8 o'clock tonight and beyond, here comes our next chance for heavier rain. You see those heavy rain bands starting to push in as we head past sundown tonight. There is a risk, much like last night, that some of these could be gusty, maybe containing some hail on top of the risk for damaging wind. But again, the rainfall is the big concern. This continues as we work our way toward the 11 o'clock hour tonight. Heavy rain pushing through central Ohio. That rain starts to push off to the east after midnight. Once we get past that first band, our threat for severe weather is pretty much done. Unfortunately, our flooding threat will continue as we head deeper into the night. Light to moderate showers continue as we head towards Sunday morning. We kind of taper off for a little bit in the morning, but then we continue with that risk factor for moderate showers throughout the day. And look at the map here. We're actually seeing the possibility for a little bit of wintry mix once you get further to the north. I would not expect this to be impactful because of just how warm things have been and how wet things are outside now. But bridges, overpasses, especially as we head into Sunday night, could get a little bit slippery in some spots. We see those rain showers, possibly wintry mix, continue into about sundown tomorrow, early evening with some of them pushing through. We'll wrap this up as we head into early Monday. But again, the flood threat, on top of everything we've talked about during the show today, going to be what is the most concerning. Keep in mind, we've already seen 4+ inches of rain in some spots, maybe even 5 in a few of the hardest hit areas. And we're going to put another at least inch, maybe 2 on top of it in the next 24 hours. I think this model here, probably a good mid to low range estimate of how much rain is left to come. Again, some of those harder hit areas could go 2+ by the time we're said and done here and we get past this round of rain. So a lot to talk about in the forecast. A lot of things going on when it comes to the weather out there right now. I'm going to take a moment here to answer some of your guys' questions. Of course, you can send those to the Facebook chat, or you can text them to us. 614-460-3345 is that text number once again. I'm going to go ahead and start with our Facebook chat here. See how you guys are commenting on here. Let's see. Robin checking in saying the backyard is flooded and continuing to flood here. So I wouldn't be surprised to see, again, those water levels continue as the light rain is out there right now, but the heavier stuff will be back in the cards as we head through tonight. Stephanie checking in from Chillicothe. Let's see. Not too many questions about the weather going on here as far as the comment section for Facebook goes today. So hopefully that means we've answered most of those questions in this broadcast, or if not, over the past couple of days. So we'll keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on the text line here as well. See if we got any comments coming in. Got a comment, this one came in a little while ago. This was about the storms last night out of Morrow County. Said they got a pretty gusty one there off of 95 and Township Road. And there was some definite strong storms that came through last night. A lot of lightning came through last night. And if you were watching Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz, he was actually tracking the potential for 2-inch hailstones. So, I mean, we're talking pretty sizable hail. I'm going to turn around behind the TV here, grab a prop just to bring it up. That's about the 2-inch mark right there. So right there, that's a 2-inch size hailstone between here and the edge of my finger. So that's a huge hailstone out there, and we've seen that over the past couple of days with just some of the colder air in the upper atmosphere. A lot more hail threat than we would usually get here in central Ohio. And you guys have shared some of your photos of those hailstones too. So hopefully we can avoid that here tonight. But I do think that's a possibility as we head into the evening. But again, it's really going to be the rain threat that would be the biggest concern. Question here says, how much additional rain do I expect in Pataskala into the Grandview area? I would plan on kind of a baseline of about another inch of rainfall. On top of that, we could see as high as 2. I wouldn't think too much more than that. I think some of the heaviest totals tonight are going to be in the southern counties south of I-70. That would be where I would expect the highest rainfall totals to be in the next 24 hours. But again, some of those 1 to 2 inch totals could make their way further north toward us here in Franklin County, on off just toward the east into Fairfield and Licking counties as well. Wouldn't be too bad about that. Got a report here that says it lived in Nevada. The river down from their house is up underneath the bridge. They said it's about to come over the bridge there as well. So again, not surprised to see those types of flooding reports out there, as a lot of those rivers we walked through just a little bit ago are in that more moderate to minor to moderate flood stage now, and several of them are expected to get up to major flood stage, or at least just shy of major flood stage. So those rivers out there coming up over the bridges, possibly doing damage to some bridges, is not unexpected. Here's what we're looking at on radar right now. You can see mostly just those light showers. We'll zoom in there to Nevada. And again, light rain coming down at the moment. I want to go ahead and zoom out just a little bit, and we'll put on just how much rain we've seen in the last 24 hours. Up to Nevada, probably about 1 to 1.5, but you can see just up the road from you guys some of those closer to 2-inch rainfall totals. But of course, this is only part of the story because we've had rain for several days now. You won't see the tidal change here, at least not immediately, but I'm going to back that up a little bit further to 72-hour rainfall. So what you're looking at now is going back here 3 days, and that's where we can see a lot of those darker purples, even some reds popping up up there toward Nevada, Upper Sandusky. Let me see if I can put a few numbers on the map here to go along with that. We'll click there close to Nevada. That's a radar estimate of 4-inch rainfall up toward Crawford, 3.3, southwest of Upper Sandusky, 3.5. And again, that's just kind of a taste of all of the rain that has come down across central Ohio in the past several days. We'll zoom back out to the bigger view here across the region, and you can see some even harder hit areas than up to the north. We're looking here toward Union County, back to Logan County, Madison County, some of those brighter oranges. I'm going to be curious here to see what kind of number those show up as. We'll click out there in Champaign County real quick, 6.8. Popping up as a radar estimated rainfall total for the past 3 days. Union County, 6-inch radar estimate. South of Marysville there, 5.9. Northwestern Madison County, 6.2. We'll go between Urbana and Springfield, 5.4. And we'll put one on here in Columbus, too. Radar estimate of 3.2 inches of rainfall in the last 72 hours. So again, these totals are just the estimates from what the radars have picked up. We've seen reports that have gone even a little bit higher than some of the estimates on radar by an inch or two. So if the radar is picking up 6 inches, it's possible that we could have even seen closer to 7. I'm not sure about 8, but closer to 7, maybe even a little above 7, not out of the realm of reality when it comes to these storms, and we're not done with the rainfall yet. Another question here coming into the text line says, will Marion get any high winds with the next round of storms? It's possible that we could get some high winds into Marion tonight, but I do want to tell you that that threat is fairly low. In terms of storms, I think if we get severe weather tonight, it'll look pretty similar to last night, where we have a handful of severe thunderstorms with some gusty winds and some hail. But the wind is going to be the biggest threat for weather as we head through tonight. Not so much. Did I say the wind? I meant the rain. The rain is going to be the heaviest threat for severe weather tonight, not so much the wind. It's not impossible, but this is not anywhere close to the level of wind tornado risk that we had Wednesday this week. What we're most concerned about and what we've been talking about most during this stream is going to be the flooding concerns out there tonight. I'll take one more quick check of the Facebook chat here before we recap and wrap things up on this stream. Lisa checking in from Athens. Thanks for joining, Lisa. Stephanie asking about tonight in Chillicothe. I think you guys are going to see a good soaking tonight down in Chillicothe, possibly 1 to 3 more inches of rain. You do have a risk for some strong winds, possibly some hail, but our biggest concern is going to be those rainfall totals out there, because we could still get into some pretty high levels of rainfall, potentially additional flooding across central Ohio. I'm checking just off screen here, the river in Chillicothe, Scioto, right now still under flood stage, but that's expected to change here as we head through the next 24 hours. Let me put that map back up on your guys' screen here as well. Scioto River there right now is about 13 feet. That's expected to rise closer to 16.4 as we head toward Monday afternoon. So that would be just into minor flood stage there in Chillicothe. You've got quite a bit of leeway for the river there before it gets into higher stages of flooding. You got to get to 22 feet to be considered moderate flooding. So again, possibly some small areas of flooding there along the river in Chillicothe. That'll be something we watch as we head through tonight. Men's asking, is snow coming? Unfortunately, possibly, yes. We could see a little bit of light snowfall, especially I-70 into the north as we head through this system. We'll be watching that pretty carefully as we work our way through tomorrow. But overall, I'm not expecting it to be a major impact. We're talking maybe a dusting on some cars, maybe a slick spot on a bridge or an overpass, because as we head into the next 24 hours. It's just been very warm. It's been very wet. A lot of rain has come down across central Ohio, and it's just going to be a hard environment to get any kind of impactful snow on. But if you peek your head out the window and you see snow coming down, that is not out of the question in this sort of crazy weather pattern that we have here. I'm trying to prep just a slightly different graphic for us before we do our recap here to get updates for everyone out there. We're not going to go through all the individual flood warnings again, just because we don't quite have enough time left in our show. Only about 4 minutes here. We'll be wrapping this up at 4:29, but there is a picture of all the different flood alerts across central Ohio, and it's not hard to see why we have those 10 TV weather impact alerts coming in once again. We're watching those storms through tonight and into tomorrow. Just one more quick check of the questions here. Brandy asked about a timeline for bad weather. It'll start picking up again as we head into this evening. I would say the stronger stuff probably after about 8 o'clock tonight. Anna can see the Scioto River from her backyard, says it's quite high in South Bloomfield. Lisa asking, is there a hailstorm expected? It's possible we could get some of those bigger hailstones tonight, but I don't think that risk is quite as high as last night. But be on guard once we head from about, say, 8 to midnight, maybe a little bit beyond in Athens, for some of those heavier storms that could see a little bit of that hail. And I've lost track of my questions, which is great because we've only got a couple minutes left. So let's go ahead and walk through this all one more time. Again, we have that weather impact alert in place tonight. Flooding, our biggest concern. A few gusty storms possible. Make sure you're staying connected with the 10 TV app. You'll get all of those alerts sent to you as soon as they're issued. Flooding, the overwhelming biggest concern. 2 out of 4 category. Further to the south, a level 3 out of 4 category. Severe weather, not impossible, but not the overwhelming risk factor tonight. A 1 out of 5 risk for most of the region, gets to a 2 further toward the south. But overall, that flooding risk outweighs all of the severe risks tonight. If we do see a strong storm, wind, maybe some hail going to be our 2 biggest threats. The rain right now coming down good across central Ohio, light to moderate showers, but there's plenty more to come on top of what has already been a soaker. All of those areas where you start to get into the oranges, those are at least 4 inches of rainfall. We saw some of those reports, radar estimates in here of about 6. Wouldn't be surprised to see some of those down to the south as well. And again, more rain still to come. Heavy showers back to the west, pushing our way as we head through tonight. It's going to only add to the flood concern. All of these are the flood alerts in place across central Ohio. These will last through Sunday. In many cases, the river flood alerts that you see here in the green, those last into Monday and Tuesday. And again, flood watches will be in place out there as we head through the next few days here as well. That'll go until at least Sunday. Hour by hour forecast, we see the rain picking up as we head through this evening. That next heavy band that could come with some storms pushes through about 9 o'clock to the early AM Saturday. Behind that, persistent rain continues, and this could continue to impact our flooding conditions through tomorrow. And like the question in the chat said, are we going to get snow? Well, we could get a little wintry mix in here, but the good news is we're not talking winter storms here, just a little bit of snowfall that could make a bridge or an overpass a bit slippery. That rain again continues into early Monday morning before it finally wraps up. We'll leave you with this. This is the latest numbers. Looks like it even just updated on the rainfall forecast. Another 1 to 2 possible. Some areas could get hit even harder. We'll be back tonight at 6 o'clock.